Is there anything in the world happening beyond COVID? Well, you'd think not, watching the nonstop fear and panic sold by the media and their Democrat partners 24/7.
America is the worldwide epicenter for new cases, in large part due to Trump's failure.
No end in sight. The point is there's no plan. There's no federal led effort to bring this back.
What, if anything, can be done to pull the country out of this public health disaster?
Well, they rarely report, of course, that new infections haven't translated into a rising COVID death rate. In fact, the 7-day average COVID deaths has fallen from a peak of 2,232 in mid-April to 724 as of yesterday. That's right, it's a 68% decline. Now, there has been a slight uptick in COVID deaths this month, but the death rate is nowhere near where it was back in April. So that's, good news in a difficult situation. But they don't just want you living in fear. What they want you to be is demoralized, dumbed down, and dependent on the government, meaning more PPP mailbox money instead of actual jobs. And they hope that you're going to be so exhausted from riding this lockdown and reopening roller coaster that you'll trade freedom for a false sense of security, and then it'll be on to socialism. Now, in case you've forgotten, freedom includes the right to travel, to gather, to work, to worship, and to attend school. And it is this issue of school reopening where we see exactly what Joe Biden's puppeteers are capable of.
We cannot do as the President Trump is doing and play politics with and be willing to sacrifice the lives of our children and their teachers.
Let me say this very clearly. They're lying to you when they say it's too dangerous to reopen schools. A new German study, the largest of its kind, confirms what we had learned from Iceland, France, and Scandinavian countries. Now, the results showed that the dynamics of virus spreading have been overestimated, the university said that did the study, adding that the study suggested that schools did not become the coronavirus hotspot after reopening, as had been feared. Now, in case you think this is some small, ridiculous study, a total of 2,045 blood samples from school children and teachers were taken from 13 secondary schools in Germany. Unlike the U.S., European countries smartly sent their students back to school, and there haven't been any major outbreaks. So should kids wear masks and social distance in schools? Well, different countries have tried different approaches. It's been different all across the globe. But school districts across America are right now planning very expensive classroom modifications. You've seen a lot of the plexiglass dividers. Maybe they work, maybe they don't. And parents, in turn, are buying into this freak out. And in Orange County, where they're bucking the trend in California, some parents are actually upset about the reopening.
There's so many people who can get sick, and I think it's very dangerous and unacceptable to go back to school right now.
Kids' lives matter! Kids' lives matter! Kids' lives matter! Where's your mask? Where's your mask?
Okay, they don't know about the science, and the media isn't reporting the science. Very interesting, don't you think? And oddly, Dr. Fauci isn't talking about that science published by German researchers that we just talked about. Professor Reinhard Berner discovered, quote, the majority of school children did not go through an infection themselves, despite an infection in the household. This finding must also be taken into account when it comes to deciding on measures to limit contact. Now, if you listen closely to physicians, even far left outlets like MSNBC occasionally stumble upon the truth, but boy, are they embarrassed by it.
Would you let your kids go back to school?
I will. My kids are looking forward to it.
Yes. Period. Absolutely.
Absolutely. As much as I can.
Without a hesitation.
Without a hesitation, yes.
I have no concerns about sending my child to school in the fall.
I would let my kids go back to school.
Dr. John Torres, NBC News.
They all said yes.
Okay, that's my favorite moment of the day. They ran out of teachers, okay? or parents or reporters or experts or doctors. Now, of course, Biden's big allies, the teachers' unions, well, they pay no attention to the doctors or that extensive German study I just talked about. They want their members to stay home and totally ignore what we know about kids' exceedingly low infectivity rates. They ignore the horrific mental and physical health consequences from keeping kids away from school as well. We said this last night. I'm going to repeat it. It's really important. These teachers, just like police and firefighters, they're essential employees. Their salaries are paid by you, the taxpayers. Yet many are basically refusing to return to work. Now, this is not to say there are no risks of returning to school. There may be. The CDC issued its final flu report for the 2019-2020 season. Tragically, 166 children died of the flu nationwide. But schools didn't close, did they? Teachers did not refuse to work. By contrast, the number of children who've died nationwide of COVID is 30, according to provisional CDC data. Now, every life lost is a horrific tragedy. That goes without saying. Now, in California, where teachers' unions are pushing to keep your kids at home, guess how many of the state's nearly 9 million school children have succumbed to COVID? You see it in the screen, 0. That's right, no one under the age of 18 has died from COVID in California, according to the stats that we have, the most up-to-date ones. So thankfully, overwhelmingly, children have been spared. Still, Biden's most ardent supporters, the teachers' unions, are ratcheting up the fear. And they're even trying to extort concessions that have zero to do with education. The United Teachers Los Angeles Union is demanding the abolishment of charter schools and demanding the defunding of police. Yeah, that'll keep those kids safe and educated. We'll have more on that in a bit. But here's the bottom line. Schools are where children learn, grow, interact, have fun. It's where they run around, they play sports, and yes, sometimes they get hurt. For some, it's a respite from a turbulent home life. They desperately need this rhythm of school back, this normalcy to return. And economically, our country cannot survive school closures without cataclysmic ripple effects. Parents will suddenly be out of work, and job losses in the education arena will be severe. Children can't be pawns this campaign season. We have to safeguard their physical health, but also their long-term development. Keeping them locked in the house, attached to screens, is going to lead to untold suffering, a toll for them far worse than this virus. And that's The Angle.